if you know about League, but I've heard a lot of people compare you to like Faker.
What is Faker? Help! No, seriously.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Crystalisdota. In this episode, we will compare Dota 2 versus League of Legends. We will look at some of the numbers, some of the statistics, and come to a conclusion on why Dota 2 players truly hate League of Legends. Now before I get into it, yes, I'd like to repeat and tell you that this is a Dota 2 channel. We prioritize in Dota 2. But it's good to understand what its competition is. Now, the first part we want to look at is the number of players. On September 13th, a couple years back, Riot co-owner Mark Merrill and Brandon Beck told Polygon that they estimate League's active monthly player base around 100 million, and it increased 30% every year, which means that they have a peak around 13 to 14 million concurrent players. On the other hand, Dota 2, if you look at the Steam chart, I'll put the link below, after the international, there was an average of around 635 to 730,000 players, with peak players at around 1 million to 2 million. Now this number is surprisingly lower than League of Legends. Here's something interesting for you to think about. It seems like League of Legends has millions of more players than Dota 2. Now how could this be? Perhaps someone is telling a lie, and they're telling a lie to keep a facade going, not only to manipulate the players and its fan base, but also keep an infinite amount of revenue. Let me reiterate something. Dota 2 has accurate statistics on its Steam track. You can see how many actual players there are. However, League of Legends is based on hearsay, is based on what the owners say. So this is easily manipulating the mass media, the mass people. They don't really know what the actual statistics of League of Legends really is. One of the biggest reasons why Dota 2 players feel that League of Legends is utter garbage is because of the number of players. They say that the game is so much easier, that is why so many noobs play the game. One key factor argued particularly heavily about is the mechanical aspect. More specifically, it's the way you last hit or deny a creep. You see, in League of Legends, when you farm for creeps or get last hits, you don't have to compete with anyone. It's very simple. While on the other hand, for Dota 2 players, they have to deny. That means that you can negate your enemy from getting a last hit, while also at the same time, you have to time your own last hit. It's very complex, but it takes time and experience to get this done. Now, some players argue that Miracle is more skilled in terms of mechanics versus Faker. They go on with that argument saying that because Dota has more of a harder game, there's more competition. And because there's more competition, Miracle has only won once. He cannot win multiple. On the other hand, Faker won 3 times because the game is so easy. He has dominated the scene and continues to dominate the scene with the best team. You see, this is a lot of complex argument going on. Dota 2 professional players and professional gamers feel like because it's a harder game, it is harder to repeat. Now, can you really say that Faker is a better, more accomplished player than Miracle? We can't really do that. Yes, I previously said he's more accomplished in terms of winning championships. But then if you look at prize money, Miracle has more money. So this goes to the next topic. Which game earns more money? Now, if you easily Google it or go to esportearnings.com/tournaments, you will see that the first top 5 tournaments in esports history with the largest prize pool is from Dota 2. It's their international. And then number 6 and 7, you have the League World Championships, the LWC series. Now, the difference between the prize pool is so enormous. Like for example, 2018, Dota 2 had 25 million, while League of Legends in 2016 had only 5 million, which is about 1/5 of the entire prize pool. Now, Dota 2 gets money from its fan base, its supporters, and a lot of the supporters, they buy a ticket, a compendium ticket, which gives a percentage added to the overall prize pool. On the other hand, League of Legends, they're trying to copy this style of contribution from the fan, but it's just not too appetizing. Perhaps they can learn from Dota and improvised League of Legends tournament prize pool. But again, the argument of saying Miracle and Faker is better or worse than another is just very difficult to do. Let me reiterate something. You see, Faker won 3 world championships, whereas Miracle, who some argue to be the best Dota 2 player, only has won once. 3-1, that's a big difference, right? But then it comes to the prize pool. Miracle has earned more money. But on the other hand, Faker has more of an international and global brand. More people know about him, more people support him, more people are diehard fans. So whenever he goes to Twitch stream, Faker has more support. So how can you argue which player is better when you take into consideration all the factors? There's a lot of things that define a player's worth, their skill, their earnings, and their fame. So you gotta take everything into consideration, and it's very difficult. So at the end of all of this, what can we conclude? Both games are completely different. Both games have different mechanics. Some people say that League of Legends has more build-up because there's not a lot of intensity throughout the match. But then there's that one sudden fight that changes everything. While on the other hand, Dota 2 players feel that there's more skill to the game. There's more mechanical things that they have to do, like denying the creeps. Perhaps this also goes to a little of an ego battle. Dota 2 players feel superior. This is because they play a harder game. While League of Legends players, they really don't say much. They play what they can play and they don't do well on Dota. We could look at something else here. So this is another thing. This is on a League of Legends community board, and this is what a writer says. League of Legends has a more defensive game with few deaths, while Dota 2 pros die left and right. It seems like Dota is a more aggressive game, and I guess that's understandable. But the way these pros get killed seems like it's poor play. They look like they're playing horrible and make poor decisions. But they're pro players, so I would assume they know what they're doing. See, League of Legends think that dying makes you a less of a player, whereas Dota 2 players feel like, hey, dying is part of the game. Everything does not matter. Only killing the ancient is what matters. That's why more action, more aggressive playstyle makes the game more fun to watch, more fun to play. The writer continues and says entire teams missing tons of CS to sit around in the jungle and wait for someone to show up. Players trying to all in 2 heroes by themselves and getting killed. Single heroes blink, daggering into a full 5-man and blowing up instantly. It's strange. Do the pros even have a full grasp of how to play? So this is how a League of Legends player views Dota 2 players. They think that because they die so much, that they're stupid, that the game entirely is stupid. While Dota 2 players feel like that's completely bogus. You have no clue how our game works. Everything happens for a reason, and a lot of the kills, a lot of the deaths might seem like a lower intelligent being is playing, but that is necessarily not true. There are more little things that many League of Legends players are not comprehending. For example, let's say a support player or a captain in Virtus Pro like Solo dies. He keeps on dying, but many of his deaths come due to strategic analysis of the map. He goes around warding for better vision so they can set up better fights on the later part of the game. These deaths are crucial because if he doesn't ward in that specific place, or he doesn't, become the sacrificial lamb, then you can't understand a lot of the mechanics, a lot of the map. And without understanding the map, you cannot anticipate a fight. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is a real video on why Dota 2 players really hate League of Legends. And perhaps it's the other way around as well, why League of Legends players hate Dota 2. Nevertheless, this is Crystalis Dota. And until next time, I'm out.